we were able to kind of like drop latency on page loads and also speed up page rendering time, because we did a lot of, we ran Y-Flow, Firebug, and we just did a lot of little things that I think made the overall kind of browsing experience, faster, so it's better now. But there really wasn't much in terms of, front-end changes that users would see.
So are there any front-end changes planned? I think I asked you that 2 days ago, but yeah.
There, I would have to look at the to-do list, because there are a lot of things on the to-do list, and there are certainly things that we want to do. One thing that I've been thinking of recently has been creating a new kind of page view or a way to browse the boards, because on the high volume boards, high traffic boards like B, and now actually the anime board A and video game Z are getting quite fast. Maybe 30 posts per minute. So a post every other second. So they're about as fast as B was maybe 2 or 3 years ago, which is they've got some substantial traffic on their own now. They're like almost like mini Bs, and so it's becoming increasingly frustrating for myself and I'm sure for everybody else to browse these boards, because it's very hard to track content over time. And although it's great that again, I truly believe in keeping things fresh. I love the low retention, but at the same time, it's annoying that it's very hard to follow threads unless you're opening each new thread in a new tab and refreshing constantly. And one kind of solution to that is that Firefox, and you and I spoke about this yesterday, I guess, the Firefox extension. And there's a thread washer where you can flag a thread and it'll keep it in this kind of queue until it falls off the board. Maybe building some sort of functionality like that into the site, like a native functionality where you can maybe flag a thread and have that without actually installing the Firefox extension. So there are a lot of things we could do in terms of features like that, but it's just a matter of prioritizing them and finding the time to implement them, which is a constant struggle.
Okay, and so the next thing is, as a website owner, you do have experience with authorities and bomb threats and child pornography. What do you think of the censorship plans that are surfacing in Germany, in Australia? You probably read about it on Slashdot. And do you feel that 4chan will be on the list too? Dentists are on the list.
Who?
Dentists.
Really?
An Australian dentist was on the list because crackers cracked his site and did child pornography on it several years ago, and he got it back in 3 days or something, and now he's still on some censorship list. So what do you think about that?
Well, I'm familiar with what's happening in Australia. I wasn't really aware of what was happening in Germany until I came to this conference and I heard about it from Marcus. I heard about it from a lot of different people, and it's scary, and I think I'm more afraid of it as not actually as a website owner, but as a user, or as like anybody else, as a user of the internet. I think it's terrifying that governments are talking about implementing nationwide filtering. In the case of Australia, the question of us being, are we on the list? Are we afraid of being put on these lists? We are on the list in Australia, actually, according to the one that was leaked. WikiLeaks is on it.
Only subboards like me, or the whole site?
I believe it's the whole site. And actually, another list that we're on is one maintained by the Internet Watch Foundation. Actually, I don't believe we're still on this list, but so the Internet Watch Foundation is a organization. I think it's based out of the UK, and they add sites to that list that they think sponsor like child abuse or whatever.
Sites they don't like.
Pretty much. But the ISPs in the UK, like BP, I think is one of the biggest, and there's another one that I'm forgetting.
They subscribe to this?
They do. And so at one point they were blocking B, and not only that, but they petitioned Google. They send in, those. I don't know what the kind of a request it would be, but they send their list to Google, and Google omits random still for years now. From the search ranking. If you search for B random, if you scroll to the bottom of the page, you'll see
probably get ED.
Yeah. You don't get 4chan. At the bottom of the page now, you see it says something like 2 or 3 search results omitted. Click here to find more, and it sends you to Chilling Effects, which is a Berkman website, from Berkman.
And there you can search for different versions of Google, and in some countries they censor, and in some they don't.
Yeah, and so it links you to the IWF complaint, and I've actually appealed this twice now. Saying, look, we're not on this list anymore. It was a misunderstanding, basically. We shouldn't be on that list. We're not on that list, and we'd like for you to re-include us into your search.
And they don't because they don't care, or because they do care and don't like?
I think it might be either. It's hard to say with such a large company.
Yeah, but did they answer?
No, they've never answered. Okay. So it's kind of fallen into the black hole of Google.
It's like submitting bug reports to Apple.
Yeah.
Okay. But other things you've appealed. I mean, the British Telecom did set you free.
Yeah. Once we were taken off of that list, and then I think actually, we at one point.
Or maybe Finnish providers have. I mean, they have lists of Swedish.
I don't know the answer to that. But I'm certain that we're not on the block on BT anymore.
Okay. Yeah. So next thing, what do you think of the crouch-and media disaster? Like in Germany, when the police and the Minister of the Interior of one state said, that killing spree was announced on an image board, and the Minister of the Interior even read a post that ended with, "Hello, I'm just trolling, don't call the police," and obviously wasn't understanding what he was saying. What do you think of that?
Well, first of all, it doesn't surprise me because it's something that 2channel in Japan has dealt with in the past. It's something we've dealt with. 4chan. I'm trying to think. There have been a number of hoaxes of fake screenshots that have been submitted to the media, but I don't.
It happens every time after a killing.
Yeah,
that was because I was surprised because of that, because it happens every time, and anyone even remotely familiar with image board would know that it's fake.
I think that in this specific case of what happened in Germany, the politician and the news media should have used more restraint, but I can see how they kind of fell into that trap of people wanted answers very quickly, and all of a sudden you've got this very convenient way of explaining everything, and so they were kind of pushed towards giving people answers, and they said, "Oh, look, we found this thing, and we haven't bothered to verify it because why bother?" And here you go, they take this and run with it, and everybody did, and then after 24 hours later, after the damage has been done, CrowdCan says, "Hey, look, here's the proof." It's not
actually they
by that point
did it 2 hours later.
Yeah, but by that point, nobody gives a shit.
The fun thing is
nobody reads retractions if they publish. Nobody cares. Once that that impression has been set, and now I'm not sure that CrowdCan will have. I don't know if there will be any lasting effect, but maybe now it has a stigma, an unfair. It's unfair that they now are associated with that threat because it might cause people to kind of view the site with a negative connotation, a stigma, just because of that stupid misunderstanding.
Yeah, my dad actually yelled at me because I'm affiliated with the site.
Yeah, people who are either unaware of the truth or maybe ignorant of it. Now will think negatively of this website, which just isn't fair.
So, do you think media makes sure over that? I mean, did 4chan incidents like with the bomb threats against stadiums, and did they happen in the past and don't happen now?
They still happen, but with less frequency. The time we see, kind of a
what was the last incident?
Well, the last incident followed the shooting in Germany. I guess 2 or 3 weeks ago. We saw a lot of hoaxes coming from European countries, actually, Belgium, Netherlands, maybe one in Germany. And so I was contacted by law enforcement from those respective countries because after the tragedy in Germany, they were all saying, look, we're on high alert. We're investigating every single one of these, and especially because of what happened on CrowdChan. So now they're kind of probably extra paying attention to image boards, and they were saying, we need your help with that. So that more recently we've seen a lot of those, but those have kind of trailed off. I think that happens with any sort. I mean, that happens all the time, though. If something really bad happens, everybody, their copycats immediately follow.